machine, you know, and got the...
Time out. This cab driver turned you loose
on the interstate
on a 4-lane freeway.
He made sure to hit the brakes soon enough to stop right on 7. Wow. On the shoulder in the interstate. And the door shut behind me. No key. Had to go down to the office in my underwear. And he goes, boys, you will never believe what I just found in my shoe.
So still to this day, we're looking for the other snakeskin. I just went through Boys Town, Iraq.
Oh, yeah. And we took more rockets and mortars in one volley on Fob Warhorse than there ever was during the conflict in Iraq. They'd have a rail rocket or a mortar on the back of a truck inside a garage. Mm-hmm. They'd open the garage door, back out, fire, and pull back in and drop the garage door.
But it's almost conditioned, right?
Well,
it started with a participation trophy.
Snarl at me, would you? Every time you cross a line. If Coach Ron were here, you're out bigger than shit. You know it.
Yeah. Oh, right there. Sure. And I see it more in the youth wrestlers than any other sport, hands down.
All right. Aaron Tatum.
Yes, sir.
Ain't seen you in 8 years.
It's been about that.
8 years. What are you doing now?
I am a helicopter mechanic at Fort Rucker, Alabama.
How did you become a helicopter mechanic?
Well, you see what
happened. Hillbilly from South Alabama is working on whirlybirds. How'd you get there?
Well, my whole family's aviation, and I figured I'd go in the Army and try something different. And the recruiter lied to me, number one.
Oh, no. They don't do that.
He showed me a video, and they was outside in the woods with sticks and stuff. And I was like, sign me up. I like sticks.
Of course, yeah.
And come to find out, no, sir.
What was you doing?
Behind a computer.
So where did you two meet, Dustin?
All right. Here's the story. So
let's hear this.
I was at Fort Hood. I was assigned to a headquarters unit. And I got a phone call. Hey, we got a new soldier. We need you to come get him in processing. And that was just right across the parking lot. I mean, a couple hundred yards maybe. So I walk over there, and they're like, this hillbilly here is who you're after. And he said, well, my truck's right here. We'll just take my truck and go from there. And I jumped in his truck, and he was playing some music. I forget what it was, but something that most people don't know, but we clicked right then. He knew it. I knew it. Nobody else knew it. We just clicked right then. Got him set up. There. We were drinking the very first weekend.
Love at first sight.
It really was. It was love at first sight.
I mean, do you not see us? We're gorgeous.
Yeah, see?
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Marriage material. But anyway.
Heterosexual life partners.
I won't disagree with that. And the stories just start piling up from there. Almost all of them involve drinking.
No, sir. Every one of them.
Yeah.
As most good stories should.
I don't think there's any story. I mean, the hairy situations we got in, these probably won't come out in any particular order. But I can tell you right now, one that I tell people, and I'm kind of, sometimes I don't like telling people because I feel like they think I'm lying about it. Because it's so out there, it feels like it's so exaggerated, but it's so true. I don't like telling people because I know they're like, that didn't really happen. That didn't really happen, but it did.
Kind of like shooting a dove at 100 yards with your bow.
Well, see, I got one witness and
I'm
pictures.
here to tell you it happened.
So, I mean, shit like that. That's what I'm talking about. But one story that I'm speaking of with him, we went to Austin, and I think it was on New Year's Eve, and here it is, New Year's Day.
Because it was definitely cold. If this is the story I believe you're telling.
Yeah, it was very cold. So we're broke. We're in the Army. We brought home $600 every 2 weeks. We ain't got any money. So that's a crucial portion of this story here.
Let's hear it.
So we get down there, and we decided that we were going to sleep in the truck. We weren't going to stay in a hotel. We couldn't really afford it. So we parked in this parking lot. I think it was like a CVS or something like that.
It was
went the safe route.
Yeah.
It was either a CVS or a small grocery store.
Something like that. And we decided, all right, we are going to take this much cash, and it wasn't much, like $40 or some shit like that. We're going to leave our debit cards here. That way we don't spend that much money in the truck.
You see where this is going?
I can see where this is going. That's a bad decision right there.
I agree. We were young, dumb, broke. So we go downtown Austin, and we get, tore down in a hurry. And we decide, all right, well, we're done. We're going back to the truck. We get back there. no truck. No truck. Dude, where's my car?
We're standing there, drunk as a cooter brown, trying to figure out what the heck just happened, or if we're even in the right spot.
What time of night or morning is this? Right.
This
here?
was probably about
Midnight or 1.
midnight or 1.
So
-ish.
reasonable.
Shit's closed down. We closed down the bars.
Okay, then it was definitely later.
Like 2, 3 maybe.
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're asking the wrong people. We was there, but we wasn't there.
I don't know. You were. Yeah.
So we were to the point where like, hey, is this really the parking lot we parked in, and this, that, and the other, and so we finally established that was definitely where we parked, and we definitely established that there were no parking signs or we'll be towed that we didn't see prior. Okay. So we call the number on there, and it's like, oh yeah, we got the car, or we got your truck. It was towed. You parked in no tow zone after this, whatever. So here we are, and Boots about like these,
Number one, my phone was dead.
Mine was almost dead. We had about $7 between the two of us
That's
left
all
over.
we had. We took a cab as far as $7 would take us.
We told him, it was like, this is where we got to go. We've only got $7. Just go till your meter hits 7. And he did. He let us off on the interstate.
God damn.
He did. So I pulled up on my phone back on my Google machine, and got the
Time out. This cab driver turned you loose
on the interstate.
on a 4-lane freeway.
He made sure to hit the brakes soon enough to stop right on 7
Wow.
on the shoulder in the interstate.
And anybody that's been to Austin, that is not a safe place to be.
Yeah, this ain't
driving in Austin is ridiculous.
This isn't an I-57 interstate for
No.
these people that are
No,
listening.
This isn't Highway 13.
No,
this is I-35.
This is a busy city.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a bad deal. But anyway, so I get on my Google machine, I pull up the address on there, and it was still like 7 miles from there, 8 miles. It was a long ways. And we thought, and that was by road, that Google will take you by road.
The walking map.
He was a geospatial engineer, is that correct?
That was correct.
He builds maps. I was a scout. We went
Between
cross
the two
country.
of you,
We
you
went
should
cross,
do this.
We went cross country in the city.
In the city. We were going through people's yards, over people's fences. It was a straight line. So Google was like, you got to go here, 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 here.
Ain't happening here, boys.
I mean, if we were
Yeah.
a crow,
You're
right down the middle.
Straight through everything. Jumping fences all over the place. But anyway,
Ramming bridges.
we finally get there. We finally get to this tow place, and I tell the guy, I'm like, look, I got the money, and it sounds unbelievable, but I don't have my debit card on me. It's in my truck. I got to get my truck. And he would not let us get to my truck. Finally, we talked him into it. It was like, hey, just let me in there, get it, I'll come pay it, and then we'll be gone. Finally, he lets me get in there, and it was cold.
By the way, the sun's up now.
Yeah, the sun's up. Took us all night. But,
And we weren't walking.
no, we were running.
No, we was running.
We ran the whole way.
Because we had somewhere to be the next morning.
Yeah, we ran the whole way. But I get in there, and it's cold, so I start my truck to let it warm up. This guy I thought was going to shoot me. Going to shoot us for starting it up in there. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
For those that don't know, getting towed in a large city, as I was towed several times in Arlington, Texas, those are the meanest human beings you'll ever meet in your life. They're grumpy.
Oh,
They
yeah.
hate you right off the bat.
I mean, you have
are
to.
an automatic enemy to them. I can't
Oh,
believe
yeah.
they let you back there.
I couldn't. Well, it was everything I could do to get him to let me back there. But finally got back there, got my debit card, got down the road, and I'm wanting to say, was that the same morning we stopped right down the road and got a nap?
We stopped. We got a biscuit. And then after the biscuit, we was wiped.
Yeah,
So we found us a Walmart.
yeah.
And we took us a nap.
Took us a nap. Yeah. So that was
That was a solid $225 we didn't want to spend.
yeah. So we would have been better off just
Getting a hotel room for
getting
$60.
a hotel. Yeah, lesson learned. Lesson learned. And we did from then on. It didn't matter how many people we had in my truck. When we got to
No, we
Austin,
slept 10 people in a single bedroom.
oh yeah, a lot of them were on the bed, shared the bed. Yeah. We had a lot of Austin stories.
A bunch of them.
Yeah.
Another one, we had another buddy who runs around with us pretty good. And we all head to Austin. There's 4 of us. So we get all spiffed up. pretty light because we got to blend in with the locals. So we slide on down there. They have this one little joint that before 9 o'clock, it's $1 a shot. Period. Point blank. Done.
Boom.
So you start there, and by the time you leave, you're already feeling right.
Oh yeah.
Well, this guy,
Oh boy, I don't know where this is going.
this guy right here, he just come out of the field or something else, but he was tired. So we was forcing his sorry butt to go up and down this daggum road, and we ended up at Cow the Ugly for a little while.
Yeah.
And that's where you said goodbye.
Was it?
Yes. All I know is I turn around and you're gone. But anyways, me and this other fella,
Yeah.
we're still sitting at the Cow the Ugly, getting burnt, 100%. And then about midnight rolls around. I was like, all right, buddy, I'm done. Well, he's done fell in love with one of these old women.
Yeah.
And so I walk my happy butt back up to the house. All I know is I hear banging on the hotel door at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I forgot all about this.
He has no shirt, no hat, and all he has is a business card that he thought was the room key. So, and the cab driver is still sitting out front to make sure that's the right spot, because he was standing in the middle of the road with a business card for the Super 8 motel and just said, "Take me here."
Yeah.
God almighty.
Yeah, I was
we've
in
had
rough shape.
we've had a couple rough ones.
I don't know if that was the same time or not, but I remember at some point in the hotel, I was in my underwear. I grabbed what I thought was the key, went out on the balcony to holler at you or some shit like that, and the door shut behind me. No key. Had to go down to the office in my underwear.
What did the front desk people tell you? They
He
acknowledge
laughed.
it?
Well, the funny part about it was he had a sense of humor. He laughed about it, and he's like, "What room are you in?" I told him, he's like, "You got any ID?" He's like, "Do I look like I have any ID? Where would I keep it at?"
Let me just whip this
Yeah.
out.
So what room were you in on the balcony? How did you make it from the balcony to the front desk
I walked.
without getting inside?
The stairs.
Oh, it's outside.
Oh, it's one
Yeah,
of
it's
them.
one of them where the door's outside.
This is
Oh,
Super
okay.
8, son. This ain't no Hyatt Regency.
No,
This is quality.
This is
100%.
I'm thinking slide door, balcony.
Oh no.
Time
Yeah,
to somehow figure out to get to the bottom.
Oh no. This is I forget if it's hotel or motel. I forget which one's which, but the doors were outside.
I got you.
Yeah.
High class joint.
Yeah. But luckily it was in the middle of the night, and I didn't see any people other than the front desk guy. Yeah.
You know what we need to tell them? You need to tell them about the time we come up here with another Alabama fella.
Oh no. Here we go. Where do we start this story? Do we start the night before or do we backtrack?
The night before.
You know this story. Help us out here.
Let's start from about midway's drive up.
The drive up here
Yeah, and then
when you
you'll
throw a
go
wheel
into
bearing.
go into detail about the night before and then
All right.
the next
so
day.
We brought 2 vehicles that time, right?
No, we were on your truck.
All in my truck.
If I'm not mistaken, the drive up, he was puking the whole way, right? Or was that?
I think that was a different one.
That wasn't me this time.
No. So anyway, we're at the local bar, and I won't name the bar, but it's here in town. Anyway, I had
Big selection there.
Oh yeah.
I had a girlfriend at the time, so I decided that I was going to bail on these guys' plans after the bar. The plans after the bar was a local strip club. You know, I wish I could have joined you boys,
No,
but
you are correct. I drove up here after that because I was on my truck.
yeah, I thought you were in your truck.
So this sorry sucker, here we go again, leaving early.
I didn't have a choice at that point. I really did want to go, but
Well, me and this other fella, we were like, we ain't done yet. So we run down the road to the Ticklish Whisker, and he watched them go up and down and round and round and round, and he found him a local honey. And
yeah,
he was like,
there was
you know
a
what,
lot
I'm
of
gonna-"
her. There was a lot of her there.
Yeah.
She was healthy, real healthy.
And this fella, he had his beer goggles on, and he was thick. And he ended up walking up to her, cozying up, buying her drinks. Well, guess what? It worked. Had a boy. So after we shut the Ticklish Whisker down, we were jumping back in the truck, and she was like, "Well, I need to take my car." I was like, "That's fine. You can follow me." And he was like, "I'm gonna ride with her." Oh,
I
yes,
think he drove her car, and it was a Cadillac.
It was a Cadillac
it was
with the gas light on.
Wasn't it one of them DeVilles? Like it's 40 feet long, you know, one of them big long DeVilles, grandma car.
Yeah, and it looked like the rear suspension's busted out.
Yeah.
It looked like an old Cutlass.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was a dandy. He drove her car back, following you.
Yes.
Yeah. Coming up Route 3, the light was on before you even left the deal, wasn't it?
Yes, the light
strip
was
club.
on at the joint.
And it's a dang near 30-minute drive from there to the house.
Oh yeah, and I didn't cut her no slack neither.
Standing on that skinny pedal, getting back to the house.
Oh yeah, but we I only know one way to get there, and it was through the daggum reserve
Refuge, Union County Refuge.
Yeah, that deal. And they ain't jack diddly squat down there.
No.
I even turned the headlights off and matted on it a few times to try to get them going. I was just trying to see what would happen to this old boy. But anyways,
He's trying to lose them at this point.
in the dark, and they don't know where they are. And so anyways, we get back to the house, and you can pick it up from there because you were still there.
Oh yeah, I was there. So the next morning, I wake up to a girl sitting on the end of my bed. It's me and my girlfriend in bed. I wake up and there's another girl sitting on the end of the bed, naked.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Did your girlfriend know about this?
Oh yeah. Yeah. She woke up about the same time I did. Actually, she may have woke me up. I don't remember. She may have woke me up and was like, "Hey, there's somebody on the end of the bed." Well, I woke up and I said, "Who are you?" And she goes, she didn't answer me. She said, "Where am I at?"
Yeah.
I said,
We've all been there.
Oh boy, I know how this happened. So I actually kind of felt a little bad for her. And I was like, "Well, you're in Jonesboro, Illinois." And she goes, so all she did was put her hand on her head.
Who drove my car?
Yeah, she didn't have a clue.
But the car didn't make it back that night.
The car was there.
You did not lose them.
No, did not lose them.
And it did not run out of gas. That's where I thought the story was going.
No, it's getting there to the
Oh,
climax.
okay, gotcha.
Literally.
So, yeah, it gets much better. So anyway, I kind of gave her a little bit of directions on how to get out of there, and she left or whatever. And I get dressed and I come out to talk to these boys because we stayed at my parents' place. You know, I was in the Army. Stayed at my parents' place, and these boys were sleeping on cots and couches out in the basement. So I come out there and I'm like, "Boys, let's go to breakfast. I got to hear what the hell just happened here." So they gave me this whole backstory. We get done eating breakfast up on the square in Jonesboro. We come home. This is the best part. We get back home, and we will have to backtrack just a little bit after you hear this part. But we get back home, and my dad is posted up like this on the back of the couch, just watching us walk in. And, you know, we kind of caught us off guard. He's just watching us here. And he goes, "Boys, you will never believe what I just found in my shoe." And me and Aaron died laughing. Absolutely died.
You don't know what's in the shoe.
Hold on a minute. We died laughing. We knew exactly what was going on.
100%.
The other old boy also knew what was going on, but he was playing dumb. He was like, what was it? Me and Aaron knew. Dad goes, "I found a snakeskin in my shoe." And Justin went pale white.
Oh, instant.
Red.
Just knew it.
Dad thought it was hilarious. You know, he's kind of grossed out or whatever, but he's a team player. But we've been laughing about that story for 10 years.
When we'll laugh about it for another 10.
Did he mean to put it in the shoe?
No, so fill him in on the
He
night.
slung it.
So
No, so we'll backtrack just a little bit.
Okay.
So, like I said, he's in the bed with his girlfriend at the time, and we're on couches and cots. Well, he brought a friend over, so I give him the cot because it's a 2-person cot. All right, whatever. You got company. Well, I'm on the couch, and of course I'm listening.
I mean, when you say he's on the cot and you're on the couch, it's like from me to you.
Yeah,
Away.
like 5 feet.
you feel the vibration.
Like I mean, I could have patted him on the back and said, "Attaboy."
Yeah, it was close quarters for sure.
So I'm sitting there, and the noises coming from that side of the house. was god awful.
Oh yeah.
And all you hear is snap. And I was like, what in the hell was that? He was like, I don't know. Something's wrong with it. So I rolled over. He told me where his wallet was. I handed him another one. So that means there's another one still missing.
Ooh.
The mystery may never be
So,
solved.
the first one is in the shoe. Second one has still.
We
yet-
don't know which one's in the shoe.
We don't know. Oh, but there is one that is still yet.
But
to be
it's
found.
definitely it has been determined. And Aaron says, "I heard it go down twice. Where's the other one?"
Oh boy.
So still to this day, we're looking for the other snakeskin.
MIA.
It might be on top of the ductwork,
No, ain't no telling.
or there wasn't one.
Shoot that thing off like a rubber band.
There ain't no telling. There ain't no telling.
Yeah, that'll be a good one forever.
That's a
That would
story
never be
that's been
told.
told around here a million times.
Everybody knows that story.
Now you two, obviously in the military together. Did you also go overseas together?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We stayed in a container housing unit together. And
Yeah.
we in a place, it was smaller than this. We lived together for a long time.
Was this in Korea or
Iraq.
Iraq?
Yeah. Yep.
So best story in Iraq. Let's get it.
I got the perfect one. Okay. So, all right, I'll give you one little hint here. Adidas windsuit. Matching windsuit in Iraq. Okay, you'll know what I'm talking about. You remember when we was I forget what they called them, but they'd bring in local Iraqis to come in and make a little extra money. And they
Local
would work,
nationals.
That's it. They would work on the fob, but they had to have security over them. You know, well, me and him, it was random on who had to cover them. It rotated around the units, so you didn't have everybody doing. One guy doing it all the time. Well, anyway, it got to me and Aaron. Our first sergeant he liked both of us. We knew we were buddies. He's like, you guys go jack with these knuckleheads for a week or so. There was an old boy. It's 130 plus Fahrenheit. No exaggeration. 130 plus Fahrenheit.
Light bulb. Right now. I got it.
130 plus. There was an old boy in our group of local nationals wearing Adidas windbreaker suit, matching top and bottom. I'm talking pants,
By
like
the way,
winter pants
now-
and a coat.
Is this like 80s windbreaker with the multicolor?
Yes.
Or is this like
No.
mobster
What
velvet?
color was it?
No, this was a teal windbreaker suit with
Yes.
the 3 stripes down the leg.
That's
Yeah,
what you need.
and
right
down
there.
the arm.
Absolutely.
This guy wore the same suit
Every day.
all week. 130 plus degrees.
Smelled right.
I bet that's.
Oh my God, it was unreal.
I bet he smelled right.
You could tell. Well, obviously, he didn't have the capabilities to wash it every night, but even without knowing that, you could look at him and tell that thing hadn't been washed in forever. Do you remember us giving him a chaw?
Yeah. We gave him a pinch of snuff. And ever since then, he was our best friend. Ever.
He threw up everywhere, but he always wanted more. Always wanted more. I mean, you've never seen a guy turn pale white like this guy did. Not only are you wearing a windsuit in 130 degree weather, but you take your first chaw. Man, went pale white, threw up everywhere, but every time Aaron pulled out his can,
He was up
wanted
for it
one.
again.
He wanted one.
Habibi.
puking
Habibi. Habibi.
Yeah.
Now, was this fine cut or long cut?
It's a long cut.
Yeah. And it was the driest shit you've ever seen.
Yes.
Well,
'cause-
and
That Longhorn special?
at 130 degrees Fahrenheit, it ain't gonna stay damp long.
No.
you got about 15 minutes.
So on video and recording, can you tell about how the youngsters would come up and want candy, and what the motion was for them to get candy?
No, you're talking about water. You're talking about water.
Water or candy, whatever
You're
the
talking
motion
about
water.
was.
You're talking about water. I think I know where you're going with this. I forgot about this. I haven't told this story in forever. So, the platoon next to us. So they're going through. I don't want to say his name, but
No names.
no, this is another scout unit from a prior deployment. One of my sergeants. So he's when they go from fob to fob or they're out doing route reconnaissance or whatever, a lot of times they're in places where they've never really seen U.S. forces yet at this time, at the time of this story. Or maybe they've seen them a few or whatever. But anyway, these Iraqis will just flat ask you for anything. They don't have any shame. So they knew we carried bottles of water, and they would come up and they would motion for water, and we wouldn't give them every once in a while they wouldn't give them to them. This is a story that I got from a buddy of mine, but they taught them a story, or they taught them a sign language to get a bottle of water. So, normally if you were to sign somebody, you would do something like this. We don't know sign, but this is, I can tell you need a drink. Well, anyway, these old boys in this particular platoon,
You know where this is going.
these old boys in this particular platoon taught them that this was the international sign for water. So what that set up for later is the next platoon that don't know anything about this would come through this town where they taught them that, and they would come up to the truck not knowing.
You look at them like, what in the heck are they doing?
And you get, what do you tell them? Nobody, I'm good. Nobody, I'm good.
No.
No. What? Hey, buddy,
No.
I'm good.
Yeah,
That's awful.
oh man.
But it's good at the same time.
But could you imagine them just running out of everywhere?
Where are we at?
Well, it spreads too.
Oh,
As
it's
soon as-
good. Yeah.
As soon as you give out one bottle of water and they do the motion, they're telling everybody.
Oh yeah.
Because water is a scarcity. So they're going to their Auntie Mama Sue and be like, hey,
All you got
come on with it,
All you
and they'll
gotta
give you
do
water.
All you gotta do is this, and that spreads. And now that that this next platoon knows what to expect, so you're rewarding them for doing this silly shit.
Oh no!
Yeah.
This is like a social experiment
It
here.
really is an evil social experiment.
To this date, you go to that town in Iraq.
It probably.
They're going around guzzling water that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
guarantee it.
Mouth open, double fist.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I just
yeah.
went through Boys Town, Iraq.
Oh yeah. Double twisty blop blop is the sign for water.
Yeah.
All right, so we've had funny stories. Love the funny stories, but like for me, I have never been in the military. Respect the military, but how about just some insight on living over there? You guys are about my age. You've been around. You've experienced some things, and I think like as listeners too. I mean, we hear it a lot from on TV and on the news, but like coming from somebody that's real. Give us some insight of how it was in Iraq and how American military forces over there and kind of how they lived and just overall like something that would give us an insight on their social life over there.
I've got this one.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Perfect. Plane lands. Follow me now.
Let's hear it.
Set your oven to 400 degrees. Open the cargo door and take your first step. Take that 400 degree oven and open it. That's what it is.
Ooh.
It is a strange.
People fainted on the tarmac getting off the airplane. The temperature change was so high.
Well, I think the biggest issue with our deployment when we deployed, you couldn't have picked a worse time.
No, we
So
were shutting down.
It was, well, what I mean as far as the weather goes, it was June. It was May or June, so I think it was May. But anyway, so in May over here, yeah, it gets hot sometimes in May, but for the most part, you're still kind of acclimated to spring. So over here, you're acclimated to spring. You get to Iraq, and it's 130 degrees. So you go from spring to 130 degrees. 70 degree days, 80 degree days to 130 degree days. It was a bad deal. But what's so strange to me is they're so resilient to the heat. It's unreal. Like they don't even think anything about it. As to where you and I are air conditioned queens. I can do the heat.
I mean,
I
like
can
we
do
said,
the cold.
the guy had a full windsuit, and it's 100, 120 plus every day, and he's out there working. Like I'm not talking about, oh, let me move these chairs around inside. No, he had a shovel in his hand, moving plywood around. This man was working in a windsuit
Spitting
in
chalk.
the desert,
I
throwing up chalk.
I distinctly remember when I convoyed from. I got pictures of this somewhere on my dad's computer, hard drive, or something. We convoyed from Fob Warhorse to Balad, I distinctly remember seeing this multiple times. Mud huts, no doors or windows, with satellite dishes on top.
Yes.
Yeah. So TV is more important than air conditioning.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very strange. I got pictures of little kids playing on the same convoy between Five Warhorse and Balad. They were playing barefooted soccer. Kids were playing in the rocks, barefooted, 130 degrees, playing soccer in the rocks. Just running around like nothing.
Nothing.
Now, as far as that goes, I think what Dawson more or less led on was, as far as the U.S. military and you guys being over there, basically known as foreigner, what was your living experience?
Okay, well,
Like, where did you stay? How did you? Because
Let us live in your shoes for a little bit.
I work at the prison.
All right,
I know
I can
guys that
understand this.
have been in the Marines that are over there, and I have specifically seen videos and everything else where it is flatland as far as you can see, ultimate sandstorm, and where they lived or where they slept or took a break or wherever, it was literally sand holes that they dug for themselves.
Oh yeah, like I would say more like the sand desert would be down towards Kuwait or in Kuwait.
That's definitely southern. We were central.
Yeah,
so
just
we
north
had
of
we had a
Baghdad.
little bit of terrain, not much.
Like we had a palm grove when we stayed at Five Warhorse, which is where we spent most of our time.
We also had an interstate about 20 feet outside of one fence.
Yeah, and on the other side of that interstate was a big palm grove, like it was woods, but it's palm trees. I think it was west of us, if I remember correctly. The big palm grove we had.
Yeah, because that's
It
where
was-
that's where they set up every time they shot at us.
Yeah, all the mortars come from there. Actually, on Five Warhorse, we were on there when I think it was June 11th or something. It was a change of command.
It was change of command.
And we took more rockets and mortars in one volley on Five Warhorse than there ever was during the conflict in Iraq.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was a different day.
It was pretty wild. So there was a
Was that the day me and you were at the trash depot and we ended up getting in a Caterpillar? Or was it somebody else?
No, this day you and I were not in the same place. I was in the headquarters building, and I think you were in the cafeteria, weren't you, or the DFAC?
Oh, yeah.
So one was eating and one was pushing paper when the biggest attack you guys have undergone yet happened.
Yeah, we weren't doing nothing. I mean, neither one of us were doing anything worth
Okay,
damn.
now when the first one fires off,
Yeah, what do you do?
walk Dawson and I and the people listening through that point in time. From you being in headquarters and you being in the chow hall, now what happens?
You don't move.
Well,
We've been
really?
there so long that you hear the sirens and
that
you don't even know where it's at.
that
So-
one was a little bit different for me. Like, what he's getting at is day one, when we're changing command, when you get there, there's a unit already there that you're swapping with. When you get there, especially on your first deployment for us or whatever, when it goes off, like, okay, we got to get to the bunker. You get to the bunker, and it doesn't take long before that fades away. And it's like you hear the incoming alarm go off, and it's like, where's it at? Okay, let's keep doing our thing. That's what he's getting at. This one here was a little bit different because what was crazy, this adds to the story that we were in different places. That's kind of cool, I think, where, okay, so if I could lay this out, these directions are wrong, but just so I can lay this out verbally. Let's say the incoming was north of us, where they were firing from, all right? So in a straight line, the incoming's coming from the north. They're firing towards the south. Aaron would be the farthest point that they're shooting at, and I'm right in between the two. So I think they shot like 27 at a time, but they were bracketing is what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Wait, 27 mortars?
yeah, 27 rockets and mortars at a time. Not at one time, but in one volley. So
Okay.
what I mean, I'll explain what I mean by bracketing.
Yes.
So we were at a point during this where we were already numb to the incoming alarm. Normally on Five Warhorse, it's different on Fobs, but on Five Warhorse, normally you would hear the first one hit, and then the incoming alarm
Yes,
would go
so-
off. As to where, like Balad, big Air Force base, they would detect it before it ever hit the ground,
and blow it up in the
yeah.
air.
Well, they had CRAM guns
Yes.
that would shoot it out of the air
Yeah.
before it ever hit the ground. But anyway, backtrack to this story. They were bracketing, so somehow they got a grid or a direction or something for the first round, and the first round landed just barely on the fob, just barely made it into the fob. You hear it hit, which is probably 100 yards, 200 yards from me, and then hear another. Oh, the incoming goes off, and then you hear one more hit, and it's closer. And then you hear another one hit, and it's closer. So what they're doing, they're seeing where it hits, they're adjusting fire. Seeing where it hits, adjusting fire. That's bracketing.
Is a fancy term for walking it in with Kentucky windage.
Yeah, they're walking it in. That's exactly what it is. So about the third one, I realized that they were bracketing. They were continuing to fire, and they were adjusting fire, and it was coming right over the top, coming right towards me, closer every time. I was like, well, I might need to go out for this one. So I went out to the bunker, and it's exactly what they did. They walked it right over the top of us, right over the top of our bunker.
Hit the defect.
Hit the dining facility that he was in, walked it right to the dining facility. Yeah, and what's crazy about this, we took more mortars and rockets that day than that fob has ever taken since it's been there. And not one injury, not one.
Not
Really?
a single one.
Nothing.
Just because how the compound was built?
No.
Just luck.
Just
straight
pure luck.
Yeah.
Because like he said, the first round lands before the alarm goes off. So I mean, you could be walking, you could be out there with your buddy doing some PTs and push-ups or running, and next thing you know, you're in it, and the alarm didn't go off. So
Yeah.
the first round, you don't have any warning.
Yeah.
So that was more or less a good day.
That
It
was a very
day.
good day.
It was
That
a
was
really
a
good
that
day.
was a good day.
And there was some intelligence leaked on that because it was during the change of authority, which is so like I told you, when you get to a fob, there's a unit already there,
So there's twice the amount of people on this little piece of property.
and
So they were taking their bets that they could do more damage with more population.
not only that, but it went on during the transfer of authority ceremony. So
Exactly.
we have a ceremony where they pass the flag, the guidon, and it happened during that.
So when you say intelligence leak, like they got intel from inside what time it was and stuff?
Yeah.
Is that a common thing that happens?
Yeah, on a fob where we talked about the local nationals.
So they would come in and do work.
Like
Yeah.
I said, the guy in the windsuit, give him a chaw. He wanted to be your friend. He come up to me. He was like, "If you need anything, you let me know." Snicker bar. I mean, he was offering me cocaine. I mean, he was the only one that spoke English.
Yeah.
So, if you think about it, if you buddy up to somebody,
Good and bad though. Him speaking English, he can.
yes,
He's
Absolutely.
contraceptible to English, and now you two, at this point, you have to watch what you say.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely. You had to watch what you say because I'm sure I wouldn't doubt it if a lot of them guys in that local national group
spoke English.
could
Didn't
speak
say
it but never say it.
Absolutely.
I mean, that just makes
Well,
sense.
they're there for.
I mean,
they're
they're-
there for a reason.
But there's
Yeah.
there's good and bad people everywhere. Most of those guys were there to make some money, so they
Really?
could pay for their family. But there's also the bad apples that rolled in.
Absolutely.
And most of the time, you could tell who they were because they worked for about 4 days and then they disappeared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could usually tell. And like he said, honestly, the majority of those people are just like us. They just want to, they want to work their job. They want to do what they like to do. They want to support their family. But like the people, how do I put this? So when we would take rockets and mortars, it was kind of tough to just fire back on where you were fired at from because a
We
lot
were
of
surrounded
times,
by houses.
well, that too, but a lot of times the people that would actually drop the mortars in the tube or run the rocket down the rail didn't have any issue with us. They were forced to do so.
Tough
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're not even there when it's shooting.
Yeah.
They're so ingenuitive that they have ice molds.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll make a 12-inch piece of ice, put it in a mortar tube, mortar on top.
And then get out of
Just
there.
melt.
A 9-inch
Yep.
piece, an 8-inch piece. That way they fire.
So it's
different.
basically like a fuse for a mortar tube.
It's
Yep.
basically a mortar fuse. I mean, they're
So
ingenious.
In doubt, when you go to fire back, no one is even there. They're long
A
gone.
lot of times, yeah. A lot of times. And I mean, there's so many
But
things
with
there.
with saying you taking fire at Fob Warhorse, correct?
Mm-hmm.
When you took fire there on that particular day or any time in general, were all coming from the same direction within one vicinal area?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they just fired from one area at different days, or
Oh,
did
it'd
they
be different every
did
time.
they break it up?
It'd be different every time, but that particular day they were firing from the same spot. That's how they were bracketing, and you don't know. But we had, what was that thing called? Was it a aerostat? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it's an aerostat. It looked like a Goodyear blimp, and it was sitting above us, and they thought that was a weapon. So
Yeah.
they shot at this balloon in the sky
Yeah, big blimp.
all the time.
But all it had was a extremely high resolution camera on it,
Yeah.
and you could sit in the tactical operations center. It's called TOP, and zoom right in. We had these deals, this radar that could pick up exactly where it came from, and they would zoom right in on it. You could see exactly where it came from if it didn't come out of the palm grove,
Yeah.
But you could pinpoint a house or whatever. There would be people that would. You probably saw some of these videos where they'd have a rail rocket or a mortar on the back of a truck inside a garage. They'd open the garage door, back out, fire, and pull back in and drop the garage door, and we would go knocking on the door because we saw them do it. You could tell exactly where it came from. The aerostat would zoom right in on it. So, send a unit out there to knock on the door. Like, hey, bud, this ain't gonna work. You remember all the illumination rounds that we would send out for a show of force at night?
So
That was pretty neat.
let's slow down. So when, say you do figure out where it comes from, like you said, open the garage door, back it out, fire it off, pull back in, you go knock on that door. From that point, where do you go from there? Do you take them into custody? Do you...
Oh yeah, you'd raid the house for sure.
You raid the house, make sure they don't have any more, and then you take them into custody.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now,
when you take them into custody, at that point, where do they go?
It depends on where you're at. I mean,
Like, is there an Iraqi jail they go to, whether under surveillance by their own people?
We had our
Or
own.
the-
We had our own jail
Or are
facility.
they
Oh,
locked
yeah.
up with you guys?
They were locked up with us.
yeah, for sure. And they'd get questioned and this, that, and the other, and that's a different
Well-
job, different place.
I mean, we all know this, but
Yeah.
for people listening,
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, but you get questioned or whatever, and I'm sure most of them, especially towards the end, would get let go. No issues at
make
all.
them clean the
What-
shitters or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Was it a lot of the times, like you said, with the people with the mortars? Was it like they were almost forced to do that from whatever group?
Especially there towards the end, that was the case a lot of the times.
And
And they wouldn't tell you anything because their family's in danger. These people didn't have no problems with if they said, well, you know what, old Billy Bob down the street told me I had to or he'd kill my family. Well, he ain't gonna tell you that because then he's gonna
Now you're going to get Billy Bob.
yeah.
You're going to get Billy.
now, the area you were located in, what were you mostly fighting? What enemy were you fighting? Was it a particular religious sector, or what was the bad guy, so to speak, for us not understanding? Because all we saw is with the news and the war in Iraq, and it was just chaos. We don't really know what's
I mean,
going
it was
on.
all guerrilla warfare.
Yeah.
That's what we've been fighting.
The
There
ca-
hasn't been a single traditional war.
Yeah.
Conventional, yeah. But I
So
can't-
basically, like it is today, everyone you see, whether it be, your guys or the Charlies or this, everyone is a potential threat.
they can be, yeah, for sure. The potential's there. But I
Man, woman, child.
what I'm
That's the thing that gets me is
You see the movies. I know what you're going at right
where
there.
and that's all. What Dawson, you and I we're in a different category because we didn't serve, but that's all you get to see is what the news channels are showing, what the movies, the quote unquote the remakes of the real life stories, this, that, and the other. Well, if you base it off of your real life stories and what the news is saying, the children running around there are almost, registerable with your number one enemy.
well. This
Not
is the way-
necessarily an enemy, but they're put in a position
Yeah.
where I'm going to go get a bottle of water, but at the same time, I'm going to take the bottle of water with my right hand, with the left hand, they have a grenade in it.
Well, this is kind of the way I like to explain this. I've explained it a couple times about people in Iraq. All right, so here in the United States, the best way I can compare is there's Christianity, I would say, is the primary religion. Would you agree in the United States? Christianity.
Yes.
All right, so there's a lot of different branches of Christianity, obviously. I think most of us here probably all consider ourselves Christian, but I couldn't tell you last time I've been to church. I don't know that much about religion. You may know everything about it. You may know, you may follow a different path. But we all consider ourselves Christian, even if you don't go to church or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's known that the United States is based off Christian
Yes.
Judeo values and principles. That is primarily what our founding fathers were, and that's how it came up to be.
Yeah, and I really don't know much about it, and I'm okay with admitting that. Same thing over there. It's
just a
Muslim.
different form.
It's
Yeah.
Muslim with all kinds of different branches, and a lot of these kids, the ones that we're fighting, they don't know why they hate Christians.
Absolutely.
They
They're
just
taught.
grow up. They just grow up hearing you got to hate Christians and you got to kill them.
I mean, that's you can do it over here.
Well, it does.
You have-
It
It's
goes
the
on-
outlier subsects of that.
It goes
of that
on
religion.
in big cities, and
Oh, yeah.
that it goes on daily.
Daily, 100%.
You have kids that go to these big monster public schools and nothing, But if you base this off of, like, for example, like the major Chicago public schools, New York major public schools, where you got 2,000-3,000 kids going to the same school in a low income neighborhood, they're taught the same thing.
Yes.
Like the Kings, right? They have to get put into a.
Well,
it's
they're-
almost like a survival.
Well, that's what they're taught. It is when you go, because I can tell you right now, you match a kid that grew up in the Bronx, or you match that grew up in a Italian mob neighborhood, at 13 years old, they're going to be tougher and more willpower than a 13-year-old that grew up in Lick Creek, Illinois.
And
They're raised as warriors. They're raised to you're fighting for your life.
well, you're a product of your environment, is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
You're a product of your environment, and over there, you might run into a guy that's fighting us, and if you really got to talking to him, he might be able to break it down elaborately why he thought that Christians needed to die, as to where another guy, I don't know. I've just always heard that we need to kill Christians. That's kind of what I mean by
Where
Christianity. That's how I'm making the relation between Christianity. There's a bunch of different branches. Some of them are more extreme than others. Muslims the same way. This guy, he might know he needs to kill you, no idea why. This guy here, he needs to kill you because of this.
and they would consider all Americans Christians. And
Yes.
Those,
Yes.
And those outlier.
It's just
those
it's
radical
enforced
groups.
ever since they are born.
Yeah.
That is what is correct.
Yeah, and the thing about fighting the war that we are, that's non-conventional warfare. It's an unwinnable war, and I hate to say this, it's an unwinnable war unless you killed them all. Because if you're over here and you defeat all of them, you kill them off or you change their ways on this side of the country. All right, we got this side. Well, that side over there don't care what this side's doing, or might not even know that you beat that side. So you literally have to eliminate all of them to be done. As to where a conventional war, it's a uniformed operation. The country might say, all right, we declare the United States the winner. And it's over.
We're done. I'm going home.
Yeah, this is not like that. It's
Is there any?
unwinnable.
It's unwinnable.
Unwinnable.
So
No,
in-
it's a war. It's a war of the people, but it's also religious,
Yeah.
and you would have to take out both at the same time. It's sad. It really is.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, so you have that firsthand knowledge to be able to have a perspective and an opinion on the war in Iraq, the war on terrorism, whereas a lot of Joe Blows back here in the United States, they state their opinion like they were part of it, but they don't have that perspective to be able to do so. You guys have that ability. So, in your guys' perspective, war on terrorism, war in Iraq, I'm a very much an American conservative. I believe I'm a nationalist. I believe in our values, and I believe America is the great liberator. And I know we've done bad things, but at the same point, we're considered the good guys of the world. We try our best to help other people and help other countries. So that war justified? Should have we pulled out when we did? Should we still be over there? Give me your perspective on that. I'm just curious.
That's a really tough one.
Really?
Yeah.
Because we're there. A lot of people don't like it, but also a lot of people over there do because they're being protected by a blanket.
So I listen to Jocko Willink quite a bit, and that's kind of what his stance was. Like, you don't understand if we pulled out when we did,
All hell would break
it creates
loose.
a vacuum, and
It would implode.
It hurt a lot of good people.
Absolutely.
That's a very. I like where you went with that.
Yeah, you can't.
That's And
There's
sitting
no
here around
right
the table
answer.
with two veterans, I mean, this is.
Let's hear your you've
Yeah.
been there. I don't
There's no right answer.
I've never lived this environment, and I love to hear it.
I'm telling you, like he said, a lot of them people loved that we were there. I mean,
Yeah.
we would roll in, take care of problem people, and it would things would go back to normal, like kids playing in the street and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then
Awesome.
when we would move out of an area, they would just suck right back in. So
So
they
basically,
wanted our
it
presence
builds-
there all the time. In a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rough parts that you guys did, it builds immunity within that town again, where they can feel safe with, letting their kids go out and, play tag, play hide and seek,
play soccer
where,
out in the streets and
do what they do, live the life of a child.
way they should.
It would be,
But
what
when you
we were
pull
trying
out-
to do, I think, is that we were trying to, they didn't have the capabilities of, knocking down these issues, going through a town and sweeping it and getting rid of the issues. We were trying to create a democracy, so to speak, and create a police force or an army that could govern themselves.
We had a bunch of locals that we were training with our technology and our modern updated weapons and our tactics to try to let them govern themselves. That way we could back up, they could take it, they could handle their own business, but we see where we're at now.
Yeah, I mean, but those people are a little different. You don't realize how much rebel you have in you as an American until you get over there. Like, you have so much pride as an American.
Yeah.
If you were having issues in town that you couldn't handle, and a foreign force come in, wiped them out, and was like, all right, we're starting from scratch. Now it's on you. You got to govern your own land here. You're going to take care of it. You, as an American, I know how you are. You would be diehard proud to protect Anna and Jonesboro, and
Absolutely.
it would be
Oh,
no
for sure.
problem. Over there,
No
and
doubt about
all
it.
of us would be the same way. Over there, when they start, when we would, kind of give the town back to these people, and we created a police force and an army. When they started moving in, they would just give up. They didn't want
It was
nothing to
over.
do with fighting.
It's just
For
survival.
their-
It's like, I don't want
Yes.
to die. I don't want to get shot at. These.
It's strange to us, to me, to us. If you saw it, when the forces started coming back in, they would just bow. They would just, I'm not a cop. I'm not an army. You don't have to worry about
Wow.
me. They would just bow down. That's when it really made me even more proud to be an American, because you've got this rebel in you, this proud American.
You're not coming to my house and taking it.
Absolutely
No,
not. You
no,
will
I'll
not tell me what to do.
happily
and when
die
to do.
fighting for that.
Absolutely.
Happily. That's a justification death.
And it's-
Absolutely.
And I'm taking out people with me.
And you don't
You know.
realize how ingrained that is in your blood over here, where it isn't in other places, especially Iraq.
And it comes out in people too.
Hence why
Over
half
here-
of us won't wear a mask.
I
And
absolutely
that boils down to
refuse.
exactly. But I
Absolutely.
mean, come to my house and take whatever you want. Try it.
Yeah, you can try it.
But if there's one of you and one of me, someone's going to get hurt, whether it be me or you.
Yeah.
But
You're gonna,
you're going to know I was there.
oh yeah,
This
you
is-
got me. You're gonna know it.
We're
You're gonna earn that.
We're kind of
It's-
getting into
this
another
shit-
thing here that I'm
This shit don't come easy.
kind of getting into another thing here that I'm pretty passionate about and pretty upset where the country's going. You're not allowed to be proud anymore.
No.
That's it. Yeah.
You're not allowed to be
Nationalism
proud.
is a racist thing now, right? It's
Yeah,
bigotry.
You there's only certain things you can be proud of, and the only things you're allowed to be proud of are things that
Things that the elite say is okay.
well, that's true, but you're not allowed to be proud of anything that's common, I guess. Maybe so. I don't want to get into race or gender, but just a few years ago, it's never been an issue. You know what? I'm not getting into gender or
No,
race
no,
issues,
no.
but still, you're not allowed to be proud.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to be proud. Me, I'm the kind of guy to where if I'm on a team, let's say I'm on a T-ball team.
Yeah.
I'm on a T-ball team, and it's the worst T-ball team in the entire league. I'm still proud of my team because it's my team.
By God, you're still a lug nut. You know, that's
You damn
absolutely.
right. I am proud, and I will talk the most trash about the worst team there is all the way till I lose. And I'm like, you know what? You guys played good. Now you're not even allowed to be proud to be American. You can't be proud.
And You know, and I don't know, like I said, we don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but it's almost conditioned, right? Well, it started with the participation trophies at a young age.
Really did.
You're not playing to win anymore. You're playing for skill development, and you don't want to offend the people that lose.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a rotating circle.
Well, let me tell you, in here, and I will live this till the day I die, is that even where I work, my job, my place, you got people that ask you, well, what's in it for me? Well, let me tell you something. I didn't know you before today. What's in it for me is looking out for number one, me, my family, my friends, bing, bang, boom. Mm-hmm. When I played T-ball, even T-ball, I mean, me and Dustin and I we played same team growing up all through, and love the guy to death, love him still today. But if we played against Aaron and Dawson while we were on the field, you were nothing. To us.
Hell, we played dodgeball.
We played dodgeball
2 nights ago, and it got intense.
Oh yeah,
I was going for blood.
Yeah.
And TC made me so dang mad. I know I hit him twice. He didn't go out, and boy, that made
There we go.
Hey, you crossing that line kind of got on me too.
Yeah.
Don't debate it. It happened.
It happened.
Across the line.
Every throw you made, every slide you made, anything, snarl at me, would you? Every time you cross a line. If Coach Ron were here, you're out bigger than shit. You know it.
Yeah.
Oh. Yes, you are. You're out.
Oh yeah.
There ain't no 3 strikes.
See, this is the favoritism we're talking about. Oh, so you're not out because you let Coach Ron host classes at your gym? Stop it.
Let's see here for a second.
I will blister your back with the dodgeball.
4-3.
No, you didn't. 3-2.
Okay.
We only played 5 games because your old ass was hurt.
I was tired.
Could you show the camera?
Let's see them rug burns. Let's see your rug burns.
Look at this is called getting after it right here, boys. I don't go at 90% right there. Look at that right there. Strawberry. I haven't taken a shower in 2 days because of that strawberry. That sucker burns.
Ooh, I know it burns.
It burns.
Ooh, I got one on my elbow. Ooh.
So, but coming after that competitive spirit, that we're friends, but whenever it comes time to get out after it, let's fight. But afterwards, we're friends again.
We're done.
That's that beautiful thing.
From the t-ball field to
absolutely
t-ball field to and now that we're older, business, entrepreneurship. It's going to boil down to. I didn't care who you were on the t-ball field at that time or baseball field, but afterwards we all ate free snow cones together.
Absolutely.
And laughed. Or you come to my house for a sleepover. We went to your house for a pool party, or vice versa. Yeah. It's the same way in everyday life. Even now, as adults, we still go to each other's house. Hell, we eat breakfast every day. We're 30 years old. We meet up in the morning, go eat breakfast and drink coffee like we're 70.
70-year-old men at that.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
After dodgeball, I feel like I'm 70.
I cooked a breakfast the other day that we all sat down on. Waffle House didn't have shit on me. I'm telling you, I cooked 3 pounds of. This is what I had on the grill at one time: 3 pounds of bacon, 2 pounds of diced potatoes, a pound of sausage, a dozen eggs, and then I had two cans of biscuits in the smoker, and I made a gallon of gravy.
So I'm mad right now. I'm not invited to that.
No, you were invited, but you were limped up and couldn't get out of bed.
You were nursing your strawberry.
Hey now, I never got the invite. I might have limped over there if it would have been.
Okay, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. Did you not hear about breakfast before I cooked it? Yes, you did.
I don't remember hearing about breakfast.
You definitely did, because you said, "Am I invited?" And I said, "Well, I don't." Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot. But I tell you what, I didn't forget. What I didn't forget, that is fish fry tonight. I have hurt people's feelings by the amount of fish I've ate at their fish fry.
Let me tell you this right
kindly
now.
asked to
Here's
leave.
the deal. Come with an appetite. What is there? Let's not go off of bags of fish we have. Let's go off of poundage.
I probably thawed right now. I probably have 20 pounds of fish.
I'd say 20, 25.
I'll tell you right now.
If
you're not going to offend me.
If you can eat 20 pounds of fish fillets, brother,
I'm not going to eat.
I'll be proud of you.
You're not
going to
5 pounds. That's realistic.
You're not going to offend me by how much fish you eat. I promise.
Hey, you know
you
what?
can try. I don't care.
No, I don't think we've ever cooked fish. that there wasn't some left over.
Oh yeah. I mean, like that day I cooked it at Strongman, we had some left over.
that buffalo. Are you making the buffalo? Oh, that's the best. So he makes like buffalo chicken wings, boneless. He does that in like fresh caught fish fillets.
That's right.
And it is fantastic.
It is awesome.
So that is
Back
one of
wings.
the many awesome things that we do at Rise Performance, where this podcast is being held, is that we have a great community of people. We do podcasts with military. We eat. We lift heavy things. We train scientific principles and athlete development and all this neat things. And we're only going to be doing more neat things. And that's and it goes back to what you said with a pride and entrepreneurship and stuff. And we're trying to make the best. I want the best freaking gym in the nation.
Absolutely.
I want Rise Performance to be a nationally known brand. I want a great community of people that is inviting. It's educational, and people are here to strive to get better. If you're not here to get better, we don't want you. You know, if you're here to, we don't. We're competitive here.
And we may not be,
This may not be the place for you.
as
So
far-
you don't have green participation ribbons behind
Absolutely
the counter?
absolutely
Okay.
not. No.
I'll tell you what, back to the pride deal. I'm all about pride. Be proud of
Yeah.
yourself. Be proud of your team. I'm proud of Dawson. I'm proud of TC. I'm proud of Aaron. Proud of Dakota for that stone he did. I'm going to be. Let's say me and TC are going to the same strongman competition. I'm going to be proud of him and be kicking his ass to get stronger all the way up to the competition.
Absolutely.
Day of competition, we're going to talk trash. I'm going to try and beat you. You're going to try and beat me. No matter where you place, I'm going to be proud of you.
Absolutely. You know why? Because you did it. You made it.
Absolutely.
You set your mind right. You're there.
There ain't nothing wrong with pride. That pisses me off so
That-
bad. I'm proud of everybody that's trying,
And
regardless.
that's what I love about wrestling.
Greatest sport, hands down. I think that UFC, all of the combat sports is the best sport right now. If you got kids, get them in it. Right
No
now.
doubt, IKWF
100%.
wrestling. You start young. You discipline yourself on food. Not so much you have to be on a diet your entire life, but what you do is you limit out your little Debbies. You limit out, most importantly, your Xbox, your PlayStation.
Absolutely.
Your this. If you want to be good at wrestling, you go out and get it. What it is, if I'm on the wrestling mat, if I get thumped, I get beat, it's on me. If I'm in a baseball game and Dawson or Dustin or Aaron swing and a miss, strike out, strike three, Dawson makes a bad throw from center field or bing, bang, bang, everyone on the entire team can blame them. Mm-hmm. When you're on a wrestling mat,
That's it.
it's you versus your opponent. If you mess up, if you're caught slipping, it's on you.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You cannot blame anyone but yourself.
So-
there is no participation trophies in wrestling.
100%. And
Zero.
I'm very passionate about this right now. I'm a certified strength conditioning coach. I coach all-American youth athletes, adult athletes. I train nationally qualified and professional strongman and strength athletes. I get to objectively see these youth athletes that come to me, and I train them through pretty hard and rigorous strength conditioning courses. Hands down, the youth wrestlers are 10 years more mature physically.
Oh,
And not just physically, mentally. If I throw anything at them, there's no talking back to the coach. There's no rolling of eyes.
They're so
They take
advanced.
it. Oh my God! Because, like you said, they've been one-on-one with someone and they've learned how to fail, which is a beautiful thing. Parents, if you're listening, quit coddling your kids. Let them fail.
Absolutely.
Failure is a beautiful thing that
You'll
teaches you
learn.
so much. Learning how to overcome that and step back up will teach them so much for life. And I can see, people know the kids I'm talking about. We won't name names. I got a 9 and 10-year-old. Both are ranked top 10 in
You
the
don't
world.
have to name names. Everyone knows who they are.
They are phenomenal. I'd put them up against my freshman athletes in a fist fight, and they would work them out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and not just that. Their parents teach them right. They push them. But what they do is they wrestle on the national, international scale. They take them out of their comfort zone. They don't play baseball against the next town over. Mm-hmm. They go and compete against the best in the country, and they lose. They win some, they lose some, they win some, but they learn how to, like, if I want to play at this certain level, or if I want to be the best at something, which that competitive
You gotta
spirit and
compete
drive
against the
comes
best.
in. Because
Absolutely.
at some point, I don't care who you are, you can be the Xbox guy of the town. You want to be the best at something. It's in our heart.
Oh, yeah.
That's human spirit. That's human spirit of innovation. That's human spirit of how we came to involve the way that we have. And that teaches them right
Oh, for
there.
sure.
And I see it more in the youth wrestlers than any other sport, hands down. I mean, I have a young daughter. I'm trying to get her involved in it. She's a little bit of a girly girl. But definitely if I have a boy, first thing. Like there's no, even if he hates it, I want him to get in there and feel it.
But
Well, every time
you take the camaraderie.
That word.
Damn.
Man.
Camaraderie. Hey, I'll take a large camaraderie. Okay, be about 5-10 minutes. But you take the camaraderie of a group of wrestlers that grew up together. For example, the two you're talking about. You know, it all comes down to the parenting. Everything else, but with them two boys, I did it my entire life. My little brother did it as well. It comes weigh-in is, for example, 7 o'clock. At 6:30, 6:20, 6:45, you're in the stall next to your opponent, dumping the Browns off at the Super Bowl, trying to make weight. You're in there having a conversation with this guy. You're the best friends. You both make weight. You shake hands. You go on. But when it comes time to get on the mat, I don't know you from Adam.
Yeah.
You could be my cousin. You could be my brother. You could be my best friend. I'm on this mat for one reason only.
To win.
Is to get that right hand raised
Absolutely.
in the air.
Yeah,
And I will go down fighting until the end.
back to what Dawson,
Learning how to put that switch in your mind, that's a learned skill. You're not born with that.
No.
Learning how to go from competitiveness, I'm here to win, to friends afterwards, that's a tough switch.
Yeah.
Emotionally and mentally, that's a tough switch. And if you don't put yourself in that situation to have to do that,
you'll never
you'll
have
never
it.
learn that. And then guess what? When you have to go and get a job one day, and you got, guy A over next to you, you're fighting for a position to better your family, to maybe get a little bit more money or to help somebody, you're not going to know what to do. You're going to be an asshole.
it's
You're
a
gonna,
That's what it
competition.
boils down
Interviews
to.
a competition. You know, everything's a competition. You've got to have that.
I've
Absolutely.
wrestled, I went to state 2 years, and the guys that I win, or the matches I win, the guys that I beat, the people that, the fellow wrestlers that beat me, at the end, what is the one thing that the ref makes you do?
Shake their
shake
hand.
your hands.
You're definitely shaking hands. You know how many hugs I've gave out through my entire life of wrestling? A bunch.
Oh, absolutely.
And the hugs I give out, you're literally one-on-one, body on body. You're whipping their ass or they're whipping yours. But at the end, you get up, you're shaking hands, you're giving a hug, or you're doing, vice versa. That doesn't happen nowadays.
Yeah.
Okay, take baseball for example. We go win, we go do this. You line up on first base, we'll line up on third base. You go through, you're shaking hands. You got people spitting in their hands.
There's nothing personal.
There's
there at
there's
all.
guys that have
It's
had
just
their,
going through the motions.
So
There's
let's
nothing
talk
personal.
old
there's
baseball.
guys that have had their jaws knocked off in the handshaking line.
Let's talk baseball for a second. I grew up in a baseball family. Dad coached college ball. I've been around Pete Rose. I've been around Billy DeMars as hitting coach. I've been around a lot of professional athletes. I was the bat boy for the Yankees in spring training. I grew up in an old baseball home. And I got to see this evolution of the game from a young age to now, and it is disgusting. The era of Pete Rose sliding head first, taking out Ray Fosse's leg, it's done. Now, guys hit a ground ball to shortstop. They walk it out to first base. They slap each other's ass on first and third. It's not a fight. Why do you think ratings have gone down in baseball?
Yeah, I can't
It's
think
not a
of
fight.
some
It's
shit.
who has the better chains around their neck and who's got the better swag, and the kids. And it's showing up in the kids
Absolutely.
now. I get these
Well,
kids.
they
in
need to
here.
go home and watch that shit, and they don't know any better. They soak it up.
Absolutely. Baseball used to be the thinking man's game,
It was,
right?
no, it was the
Hitting-
all American sport.
It was the American pastime.
Yeah.
There was hit and runs. There was head first slides. There was strategy. Now it's let's swing for the fences. Let's strike out 120 times a year.
I'm gonna hit 300 home runs.
I'm gonna
this
hit
season.
but strike out. Hit a buck 80.
But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it with my neon arm sleeve on and my seashell necklace that Aaron brought me up from Alabama.
It's
he
sad.
got off the beach or something.
it's
And my
sad.
hashtag Me Too shoes.
Yeah.
You know what? We need to get my dad on this podcast to talk about it. He's been around. He scouted for the Cubs for 15 years. He's been around some really good ball, and he always instilled that in me. I remember being at a young age. I don't care if you 0 for 4. You sprint out. If you get a walk, you sprint to first base. If I didn't sprint to first base, I got my ass chewed in front of everybody.
hell yeah.
And
Hopefully
like
more.
look at when I was that young boy, I was like, why is no one else's dad this hard on him? But now looking at it back, like I'm so thankful he did that. But that sport has really needs a change. It needs to go back to dogfighting.
But look at it from where
I mean-
when you come in to playing baseball to where like you go watch youth league baseball now.
Oh,
and make you sick.
They have no heart.
there is no youth baseball
You know
now.
what
It's
my
travel teams.
My
It's
number one stolen bases was
Travel ball's different.
Travel. Now
story.
your parents have to pay $600 a year. You get to be on a supreme travel team that every town has four. Even Anna of 4,100 people, we got 3 travel ball teams, and every parent thinks their kid's freaking special,
it's
and they're going to get exposed. They think they're going to expose at these showcase camps. Man, let the kids fight. Let the kids compete and play. Get rid of the college idea. And
yeah.
our drink maker over here is making getting us pretty light.
I just got Ethan Uri bigger than shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, youth sports is something I'm passionate about right now, and I get the objective now. Now, granted, parents, if you're listening, I get to objectively see this from all your kids. I see I see the baseball kids, the football kids, the basketball kids, the wrestling kids, and baseball is the worst. Quit making
Hands
your
down
kids
the worst.
play on these travel ball teams. Let them be multi-sport athletes. Play for your local Legion team. Play for your local city league, and just compete. Let them play wiffle ball outside.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, so my team, my high school, I have a pretty good career in baseball. My high school team ranked 4th in the nation, went 40-0, and lost the state championship game. 4 players drafted the major leagues. 8 players go Division I. You know, like I've been around a lot of studs, and that's from Harrisburg, and I don't know nothing about that. But
Yeah.
anyways, what like the difference? And I think I call ourselves like they're the last generation of that, but we were taught from the classes above us with the Josh Alleys and the Jake Alleys. Those are, and anybody from Anna knows them, hard dudes.
Yeah.
Badasses, great athletes. They fought, they kicked. I mean, they would yell at you, talk shit to you, but they were wonderful competitors.
Just goes back to the whole pride.
The pride
and
thing.
Zero heart
I remember I
and
played
zero drive.
Absolutely. I remember I played with a few kids from Anna. I was on like the first travel ball team in the Silver Bullets, and I played with the kids from Anna, and my town hated me for that, because the year before is whenever Josh Alley got his jaw broke on from over at Harrisburg Super Sectionals. But that kind of pride between the towns and that dog fight existed then.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist now.
No, hell
These kids,
no.
these kids in opposing towns shake each other's hand.
You don't have rivalries anymore.
No.
The rivalries are over with. Me growing up, I wrestled. You know what? I played baseball. I loved baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I was good at baseball. But when baseball wasn't in or wrestling was wintertime, then, I mean, I'm not saying soccer's not a sport, but I played soccer because I ran my ass off to keep me in shape for wrestling.
Yeah.
And then
Soccer's a good sport.
and
I don't
then-
care what people say.
Then I rolled into baseball, and I would end baseball to go play football, and I would end football early because then wrestling practice picked back up. I ran my parents' asses off
Yeah.
because I played 4 sports every single year, but my love and my passion was on the wrestling mat.
And your parents were good parents to allow you to do that. You see a lot. I got parents now. They pay you up to $400 or $500 a month for me to train them. They don't even show up half the time. You know, I mean, think back to when you were a kid. The way that your parents would drive you around and drop you off. That's a lot. That's a commitment that we didn't appreciate when we were younger. But now looking at it now, and it's getting worse and worse, because guess what? It's easy to go get a video game console, put them in front of it, then you get to go do what the heck you want to do. And if you don't think I'm a business guy, I'm an entrepreneur now, right? I look at long-term investments daily. I'm thinking about them daily. I'm constantly making your kids are your long-term investment. I have a 6-year-old. At some point, they will take care of you. I'm a Christian. You know, once the man, twice the child. They're going to take care of you one day. If you raise a soft-ass Call of Duty player, you know, playing Xbox Live, they're not going to. You're going to be taking care of them in their 40s. Your best investment. That's what Haley comes to me. Hey, Finley's getting into drama now. She wants to do plays and stuff. I don't care if I got to take a freaking loan out. If I got to sell my truck and walk, I'm going to pay whatever it takes to make sure she has the best possible anything that she wants to do, and try it and do it. And I'll quit a job if I have to.
Find something you're passionate about and go with it.
Absolutely.
Go
Absolutely.
do something above your comfort level. Fail, and the failure is where you make. We talked about this before. That's where you learn. I always say
a failure is not a failure. A failure is a life lesson.
Absolutely.
You learn from that and you push forward.
I always say this. I always say the top two ways to learn, in my opinion. Number 2 is learning from your mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number one to me is learning from somebody else's, but both are learning from mistakes.
Yeah.
If you can skip the point where you make your own mistakes,
You're much
learn
better
from-
off.
Yeah, but
if you're smart enough to
You're
understand that,
streamlined,
not
baby.
everybody is.
But you have to be able to pick up on that.
Absolutely. You have to be willing to ask for a mentor and ask questions of the older generation.
That's the problem
You
a
have
lot
to
of people
respect them.
have. They don't ask any questions.
No, they know it all.
I mean, you're a gym owner. I'm sure you have people come in here and they're possibly out here about to hurt themselves because they have zero form. And if you come up to me, you're a big dude. I'm gonna have to shoot you. They no doubt about it. I ain't fighting you. I'm shooting you. But I'm sure that you see them from across the gym, and they have zero confidence to come up and ask you how to do something.
Well, it's even worse than that. Dustin attests to this. So Dustin's also one of my strength coaches, right? So he does a lot of strength conditioning now. But you'll have a lot of people come to you and they want to pay you, and you teach them and they want to learn. But you have some Joe Blows, Mr. Small Town Gym Hero, that has no credentials to say anything, has never had any experience. Like Dustin's a nationally qualified strongman competitor and soon to be what are we doing, physique or bodybuilding?
physique.
We're doing classic.
I mean, that's bodybuilding, but no, not classic. I'm not heavy enough to be a classic.
Okay, so he's doing physique. So he's put the time in and actually done it. And you'll have people that come out here that know more because they benched 405 once at their local gym and don't ask those questions because their ego is too bad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's sad.
And me and you're the same way. You have people pay. You know, that's a business makes money. That's what it's for.
Absolutely.
You have people come in, they pay for your coaching and stuff like that. But I guarantee you, if somebody come up while you and I are lifting in here, and like, hey man, I need help on my squat. Can you
We're
come
gonna
over here
help
and watch me? I'm gonna come
All
over
day
there
long.
and make sure you've got the proper guidance. And I ain't gonna pull out my wallet and be like, put something in here.
Absolutely not.
No, I want people to come up and ask me, how do I do this? How do I do that? And I would love to help you because that guy right there might be some computer tech or whatever, and we'll strike up a friendship with you. Just
Absolutely.
ask that question, and I'll be like, hey man, I need to know how to do this on my computer. I guarantee you, he'd be happy to help.
Absolutely.
Well, not only that, it's but you also have, like you said, your egotistical guys that I benched 335 because so and so got me to this point. No, so and so didn't get you to that point. You didn't get yourself to that point, or this, that, and the other. The only reason you did this or tried it and it smashed you on your chest is because you've seen Joe Blow over in the corner do it. Well, the difference between you and Joe Blow is Joe Blow's went through the programming. He's done everything right. He's using proper form, and everything else. And this will draw back to another story when Dustin and I were by ourselves in a particular gym. A guy walked in. We were doing, I forget where we were at, dumbbell rack maybe, doing strict curls or vice versa. A guy come in on a Smith machine. He loaded her up.
5 plates aside, first move of the day.
5 plates. His only
Yes,
warm
sir.
his only warm up of the entire day was to put 5 plates on each side of that Smith machine.
I'd say this guy was probably 5'10", 160 pounds.
At the max.
Didn't look like he'd ever lifted a weight.
At the max. Seen us over there, and that's all this was. He walked in, our first, because it was one of those deals where you come in and watch him start loading it, and then him and I both at the same time were like,
What is going on?
well, at that time we turned to the mirrors and we're watching this guy through the mirror. And what we thought was going to go on is exactly what went on. His only warm-up was putting 5 plates on each side. He racked it off the Smith machine. As soon as his knees bent a little bit, it smashed him to the floor, literally feet flat on the floor,
Oh, no.
forehead, lips, everything else touching the floor.
Is this the guy that broke his back?
It smashed him in the floor,
my
broke his back. We
God.
ran over there, got it off of him, ambulance, the whole 9 yards. But
But-
that's where the egotistical shit needs to be thrown out the window.
So
he just
here-
wanted to show off.
So here's what
You're not impressing me, bud.
No.
We're the only gym of our kind, and I'm going to say in a 400 square mile radius. What we allow here is chill. We allow kids here. You know, as long as you're supervised by your parent, we want your kids here.
Yeah.
So if I can catch you at a young age, like you're going to learn good habits starting at a young age. That's going to stay with you forever. This is exercise. Whether you want to power lift or do anything for the rest of your life, at least you have a skill now that can go with you. And that's what we do here. Like Dustin said, we got 5 strength conditioning coaches. We're here 15, 16 hours a day. We help everybody. We see someone do something wrong, we help them. But here we created this culture where it's okay to ask. And we tell everybody right now, I think we got a couple signs on the wall. If you master your ego, you master your life. And it all starts, the gym and the exercise is a great place to start that. You have to do shit that's hard that you don't want to do, and you have to do it right. And you have to ask some questions every once in a while. If you create the right culture, people will do it.
Absolutely. And the thing that I love the most is everybody's so proud of each other. We've got a 700-pound deadlifter right here at the table. Dawson's he's pulled 7 before. Anyway, he will stop what he's doing, and I will too, no matter what I'm doing, to go watch a 100-pound girl go for a PR of 200 pounds on deadlift.
It's a beautiful thing.
I love it. I don't care who you are, how big you are, how long you've been doing this. A PR is a PR.
PR is a PR. Every journey is their own. Every strength journey gets you against you, and that's really the thing in life and any other sport. If you master yourself and you realize, like, I'm really just fighting myself. Wrestling, for example, if you put a bot up there or anything else, it's you mastering your skill, knowing what move to do in the right place. It's you against yourself. Mm-hmm. That's all it ever is.
That's right.
And when you understand that concept, boy, you want to be successful? That's how you freaking do it right there.
And and there's people that'll come into Rise Performance 618 and say, well, I've seen better gyms. Well, no, what you have seen is,
about 400 machines.
Prettier
a Globo gym.
You've seen
all
more,
the cardio equipment.
You've seen more.
That you don't need.
You've seen more equipment. You've seen more free weights. You've seen more of this, that, and the other. 2, 3 stories. There's places like that, out in Cali, but everything else. But what you don't have at other gyms is, and I'm not just saying this because I'm best friends with these guys, but the environment, the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dawson's 700-pound PR deadlift is no more impressive to me than, Tiffany's 200-pound deadlift PR. It's a PR.
Yeah.
Or how about Preacher Man?
Absolutely.
I can't say names.
Go ahead.
This guy came to me. He's an awesome guy. He's our local preacher. He's a philanthropist. He's a theologian. He's a historian, very well versed and funny as I'll get at. But he hangs out with the guys. He's the modern day Martin Luther. He'll drink with you. He'll shoot it straight with you. But he was very overweight when he first started coming to us. He's like, you know what? I want to learn, and he's got a mind for that.
And a guy that will come out and say that, I will climb mountains to teach a guy to do that.
Absolutely. And so he started, 8 months ago? Never touched a weight in his life. Today, he is probably more well-rounded and understands what to do in the gym and how to set up programming in proper form better than 99% of most people.
But look at him. If people
lost 100 pounds, gotten stronger. But his stronger isn't my stronger, isn't anybody. It's his own journey.
Exactly.
He went from never benching before the other day. He hit his first time he hit 235 on a bench press. That's massive for him with perfect form. Yeah. Or his deadlift, you've got 405, right? Never deadlifted 8 months ago. Now he knows how to set his back, how to keep a good rigid spine, how to brace appropriately, how to do everything right. Now he's about to compete in his first strongman competition.
Yeah, he's signed up.
He's signed up. He's ready to go. He is ready to go.
But this was an 8-month journey that he looked dead in the eye and said,
I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
And he did.
Yeah. He did.
Still
100 pounds lost, type 2 diabetes. He's now going off his type 2 because type 2 diabetes medication. What people understand, type 2 is very controllable. You can fix that by going to the gym. And he's fixing it. He's going to cure himself of type 2 by pushing himself.
But then you have the couch goers, the lazy boy sitters, this, that, and the other. Oh, well, when you lose 100 pounds, you look loose. Come look at this man and tell me he looks loose.
He done it the right way.
His skin's hanging off. Oh, he looks nasty. He's saggy. No, he's not.
No.
By no means.
No.
By no means is this man saggy. You know why? Because, and I'm not saying
he didn't go on some extreme diet. He did it the right way, and he let the process work itself out through time.
I'm also not saying the people that they want to do it the quick way, to go get the lap bands and the this and the that. Mm-hmm. That's fine. You go get that, but
if you don't change,
you have to change up.
Predicament.
Yeah.
You have to change that up to come in here. You got to get on the treadmill. You got to get behind the weights. You got to do this. You got to do something
Yeah.
to tighten that up.
Sustain
But-
it.
but
Anything.
There's
works if
guys
you
I
sustain
there's
it.
guys I work with
Yeah.
that went and got the lap bands, lost a ton of weight,
But they didn't change their character.
hundreds of pounds.
Gained it back.
Everything is back.
Yep.
Or what they did lose, and now they are. Went and bought a treadmill and they got it in the spare bedroom at the house. They'll walk 5-10 minutes.
How
a
much?
close hanger.
How much pride comes with going to get those lap bands?
None.
None.
Yeah.
None.
So I think the first thing that we try to do here is change that entire mindset of quit worrying about what you look like and let's worry about what you can do.
You're not
because
trying-
that's the why behind. You got to find that. You got to find that. I like the word impetus. That's my word of the week. Impetus. That reasoning. That deep freaking burning desire of why you want to do that. And Joey's got 3 kids. Preacher man has 3 kids under the age of 4, and he's type 2. He's over 400 pounds. Do you want to be here for your grandkids, bud? That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Look at them. And anybody else that's listening. So let's not even care about what we look like. Let's start worrying about like what kind of quality of life do you do? And you want to be able to pick something up off the floor? Well, guess what? That's a deadlift.
Absolutely.
Let's learn how to perform. Do you want to be able to get down and get something? That's a squat.
Yeah. Or when you get older and you want to get on and off the shitter.
Do you? Yeah. And that's a
real
real thing.
That's
Do you
a
want your
serious issue when you get older.
Absolutely. Do you want your 20-year-old daughter to have to wipe your butt for you? That's the kind of people that we get, and watching those people change.
No, but if you
and
look
get a
at
better
it-
life. That PR, that's better than a 1,000-pound squat.
Absolutely.
But I'm not trying to be
100%.
55, 60 years old and have an ADA shitter handle screwed to the studs in my bathroom so I
Absolutely.
can get up and off of it either.
No. There's.
I ain't trying
But
to
guess
do that.
what? If you don't
If
take
you
care,
don't, that's what's going to happen.
if you don't take care of your physical body,
That's what's going to happen.
that is 100% what's going to happen. It's just like maintenance on your car. You got to take care of it.
I'm telling you right now.
God
I'm
damn. Listen to me. This is on video, and the people watching, I'm bitching and moaning, but this, I'm telling you.
stout, huh?
Can you feel how hot it is?
I can.
I
feel
felt
it, yeah.
I felt the insulin rush immediately.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, I've got people. I'm not trying to brag or nothing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm trying to go back to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm only 31 years old. I'm about to turn 32. I've got a lot of buddies. When I hang out with them, I feel like I'm hanging out with grandpas and grandmas because they don't exercise at all. They all say the same thing. Well, I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Well, they sit and watch TV for 2 hours.
Yeah.
They're talking about Yellowstone and these other silly-ass shows. Turn Yellowstone off.
Yeah.
Get in here for 30, 45 minutes. I'm telling you right now, I've got tons of friends that could not even play dodgeball out here.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like I feel like I'm in my prime. I feel better now than I ever have at 31, 32 years old. And I'd say 90% of my friends,
Can't do it.
grandpas.
Hey, you will
But
do.
not only that, not only is there mobility at the grandpa stage, their looks
Oh yeah, you
and
can, they
everything
age
else
so
that
well.
come with it. You're just like bro, you're 31, 32 years old. What?
You got a whole lot of life ahead of
You
you.
need
the
to get
hell,
your
yeah.
shit together.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
you got a whole lot of life ahead of you.
God dang.
That's what.
Oh, I ain't got time. I ain't got time. Well,
All that money
you got time to drink a 12-pack every day after work.
absolutely. All that money you're putting into retirement, and you may only get a couple years.
Oh,
of it.
that's my
If that.
favorite.
You might
If
not
that.
even see it.
That's what I came
Yeah.
from the corporate world. Now I'm an entrepreneur, right? So I came from the corporate world, and so many people I work with. Oh, you got to save for retirement, your 401k, your Roth IRA, do all this, and then you'll live a happy life. Those people that are telling me this are 50, 60 years old. Their kids hate them. They're overweight. They're all on high blood pressure medicine. They live a horrible life. And I looked at that and I said, why in the hell would I want to do that?
No, I mean
No.
you don't get to do anything.
No, I want to live life on my terms. I want to be healthy and fit. I want to do physical things. Like I think we talked about, I want to go out west on a freaking elk excursion, bow hunt, backpack the whole freaking thing. And guess what? I'm in good enough shape. If I want to go do that tomorrow, I can.
Absolutely.
I can.
Am I invited?
Why, hell yes.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, we'll even put you on some online programming to prepare your conditioning, which I feel like I don't have for the mountains right now either.
No.
But we can.
We can. We
get there.
can build that to peak into an elk
By
hunt.
golly, I can
There's
play
no
dodgeball,
reason why
though.
you can't peak into a mountain elk hunt just like you would a strongman competition. There's
absolutely.
no reason why you couldn't do that.
We have the ability to do that for anybody. And
I,
anything that you
I
wanna
will
do.
even work in routines to improve your shot with a bow or whatever into the program.
Who
if
does
you want
that? That
to.
train to hunt? That's a really cool thing.
I
does
know
that?
what you're talking about, but I can't remember who does that.
I know Joe
program.
Rogan's big on it.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of that. I think that's something that would I told you this. Next year, bow hunting is my new. I pick one
Better.
hobby a year.
I'm not going to let you live it down.
Oh,
either.
I don't know. All I know is the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life was I come up here to Illinois as an Alabamian. I mean, I'm not in great shape by no means at all. But I thought I was okay. I'm fairly young. Me and this guy go turkey hunting in South Illinois, and where I'm from, this table's is about as hilly as it gets. And we're walking up and down these daggum hills,
Now, Southern Illinois is no playing around now. We got some terrain.
and I'm over here dying.
Speaking of which, we got a couple stories we need to tell about running through some brush and some hills on our hog hunts.
Let me just tell you this right here. So we get together with this old boy, and
We met him in Iraq.
we met him in Iraq,
5-bore horse.
and he was an Air Force guy, and he said he hunts pigs, so we're gonna do a little pig hunting.
Yeah.
And okay, so we meet up with him, and he runs dogs. Well, after we went once. We figured out how we're gonna do this. We killed us a pig, had a good time, cooked him up. Well, by golly, we're professionals. Number 2, we thought we were gonna film this bad boy,
Oh, God. Yeah.
and we had a GoPro duct taped to a mag light. Whenever I say a mag light, I'm talking about the one you can beat intruders off with.
Yeah. Held like 25 D batteries.
Yeah.
It's about
D-
17 feet long.
Yeah, and weighed 25 pounds.
Yeah.
But we had a GoPro duct taped to the daggum flashlight, thinking we were going to be good because we're on foot with dogs in the sagebrush.
Right.
Well, all you saw was his ass the whole time. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You can't even hear nothing.
No.
This sounds like the Blair Witch Project.
So I want to talk about my first, I think it was my first hog hunt. It was definitely my first hog. But do you remember, so basically you got your catch dogs and your
bay dogs.
Your bay dogs. So the catch dogs ride on the 4-wheeler. Bay dogs go out and get on the trail. They find the hog, get them bayed up. Bayed being holds them in place. So once you get a hog bayed, held in place, you get there as quick as you can with your catch dogs. When you get close, you let your catch dogs loose. They go up there, they get a hold of the hog. The point is, you need to get up there and you need to get him stuck with a knife. That's what we did. We hunted them all with knives. So my first hog hunt,
Primitive.
very primitive, the most primitive.
That was a hell of an adrenaline rush.
Oh man, it was
I'm sure
awesome.
of it.
My first hog hunt. So I think we only killed one hog that night, and it was mine. But anyway, the goal was to get me a hog.
We'll find them, big head.
It wasn't a
Don't
big
need to
hog,
rub it in
but
over
the
there.
goal that night was to get me a hog because it was my first one. So we pull up on the 4-wheelers as close as we can. The dogs are bayed. We can see it on the tracker or whatever. We can hear them. So we get the catch dogs out. We're headed that way. We let the catch dogs loose, and as soon as you let the catch dogs loose, you're running right behind them full speed. You're trying to keep up with them. So we've lost sight of the catch dogs. Hell, it was probably only 30 yards ahead, but we do this all at night. Next thing I know, the only guy that's in front of me is my buddy Drew, and I see him hit a hurdle, jump. What the hell? Well, about that time in my headlight, I see a hog coming. I hurdled the hog. We had bayed a group of hogs. There's about 30 of them in there. There was piglets. None of them were any big.
It was
but
chaos.
Piglets.
Mass chaos.
That catch dog went from piglet to piglet, crunch, 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 leave him lay. And anyway, we got up on that hog. It was probably a little over 100 pounds. Got that sucker, but boy, I was hooked.
Hey, that's something that I could agree with anybody as far as trying something new, especially in anything in the outdoors for people that are not familiar with the outdoors. For me, whenever you're going to try something new and learn about something totally different you've never been around in your life, it doesn't matter how big they are.
No.
That pig could have been 30 pounds,
Well, to
and
me,
I've just been tickled to death with it.
absolutely. I'm telling you, it was a little bitty old thing.
Oh, for sure.
Good eating
But
size.
it had me
By
hooked
golly.
right there. It's just like when I went on my first duck hunt. First duck I ever shot was the first duck I ever had the opportunity to shoot. It was a woody hen. To me, that was a life changer.
Huge.
Life changer. Woody hen ain't nothing. I mean, it
Oh
ain't.
no.
It ain't nothing crazy, but it changed my life. That
Oh,
hog changed
sure.
my life.
Just like, back in September, a couple friends of mine went for a bachelor party to Arkansas for a trout fishing trip. That's something I've always wanted to do. I've never been trout fishing. I don't know anything about it. The first fish that I caught was within a matter of about 5 minutes. Probably the smallest trout in the White River in Arkansas on a 14-mile float
The
trip.
smallest one.
I'm pretty sure I hold the record.
Smallest trout ever.
I was so proud of that fish. I made everybody stop what they were
And look
doing.
at it.
Look
Look
here.
at my fish.
Everybody paddle
Look
over here,
what
would
I
you?
caught. Take my picture right now.
Stop what you're doing. Get your worm out of the water. I need a picture.
You got a bite? I don't care. Quit. Get over here, stat. Get a look at this fish.
Oh boy, boys.
No, it's
I hate to cut this off, but we got us a fish fry going, and we're getting down to time. We need to be working on our fish.
Sounds like we need to get after it.
Yeah.
sounds
And
like
it's getting
plan.
kind of noisy out there too. So
It's
Somebody
definitely riled up out there now.
yeah, there's dogs barking, weights are clanging, trucks
Somebody's
are
throwing
fired
some
up.
serious weight around out
Yeah, I
there.
saw that. I'm about to get in their ass about that. Keep it down. Set it down quieter. All right. Well, I feel like we did a pretty good job here. I'm pretty excited to put it together and see it. And we appreciate you having you, Aaron. And I hope to see you back on here.
Yes, sir.
We didn't cover, not even a fraction of the stuff I thought we were going to cover.
No.
But, so next time we'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll make it a next time for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, signing out. Here we go.
Alrighty, see ya.